I feel like my intro music is just like so calming. Like it just makes me want to go to sleep. But that's not what I made it for. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. How y'all feeling? It's your girl Lex. Let me just go ahead and cut it off for y'all go to sleep. Because that's not what we here for today. So yeah, how are y'all? How y'all feeling? I realized last night as I was finishing my journal, right, that I don't want to do anything with my life other than what God wants me to do. Okay. And I know that sounds like real kind of cliche, but in all honesty, I can create a million different things that I want to do in my life. And that would just leave me going this way, that way. When I honestly just need to listen to the direction of what I'm made for, what I'm created for. And that's for all of us. Like, don't let nobody tell you got to go get a job and work there for 20 years so you can retire and maybe get a pension and maybe not even a possibility of getting Social Security. Like, got me fucked up. That's just not what life is about anymore. Because we are now more aware that there are more avenues in life. Not saying that one is better than the other or one is worse than the other. It's just there's more options. And you gotta be aware of your options. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I'm tired of going through options. I'm tired of weighing my options. I'm tired of trying to just figure some shit out. If it don't figure itself out, but blame that on God. Because we talking all the time. We in constant communication. I'm doing what I think he's telling me to do. Which is why I'm right here on the podcast, even though I want to be playing Sims. Or cleaning up my apartment so that I can play Sims. But I'm not. I'm here with y'all. And what a blessing that is, because that's what I made this podcast for. Just not to do what everybody else is doing, but more of like a time capsule of my thoughts and opinions on life. And then when I get old or whatever, I can come back and listen to it and be like, oh my gosh, that's what it sounded like when I was young and fresh and tender and all that good shit and all that. And just see how far I've come in life. And if you listen to it, cool. If not, cool. You don't have to know all my deepest, darkest secrets. You really don't. But if you do, then welcome. Welcome to the life of Lex. Because it's a lot. It's a lot I've seen in my 25 years of life. And I've only been here for 25 years. And I got a story for everything. Like, I'm always coming up with stories. Not coming up with stories, but I always have stories for any situation or most situations in life that anybody could come across with. So yeah. I am trying to avoid chaos from now on. And what I mean by avoiding chaos is not letting other people's judgments cloud mine. Because if I can't trust myself, then I will fall for anything. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And that's just the truth. Like, I cannot just be falling for other people's antics and other people's doubts and fears. Like, baby, go deal with that. Go to therapy. I'm going myself. Or at least I hope I'll be able to go. Because I ain't got the monies. Right now I don't, but maybe. Maybe not. We're going to see. But the best thing for me in any given situation is to express myself. And that's mainly what the stories that I tell are, just me expressing myself. Like, oh, this is what I saw this happen, and this is what I thought of it, and that's how I got through it type shit. Not like let me overshadow your what you're saying with my life, my personal life. No, it's just, oh, this happened, and this is what I felt about that then, and this is how I look at it now. And hopefully that'll help you, guide you in a direction of your own deeper understanding of the situation rather than what's on the surface, right? Because on the surface, I ain't got a lot of money. Right? I got about $40. Right? But the deeper understanding is that Jesus loved poor people. Like, he loved poor people. He told his friends, like, hey, don't even go to places with money, right? Don't go nowhere with none of that flashy shit, no sandals, no money, no food, none of that, right? You go over there, they got something to eat and they give it to you, you eat it, right? If they don't like you, then get to stepping. Dust that shit off and keep it moving. But don't just go around flashing what you got, right? So, honestly, if somebody robbed me, they would feel bad for me. And that's okay. Because if you rob me for a whole lot of money, bitch, I wouldn't be sick. But back in the day, I would have been sick and I would have been plotting and scheming and, ooh. But I'm above that now. So if I have anything for anybody to have, you are welcome to have it. That don't mean you can steal from me. But if you ask, I'm going to give it. That's what Jesus said to do. Right? And I also came up with this conclusion that I want to be the woman that Jesus would come back to marry. That's going to be me. Or that's at least what I'm striving for, right? I don't know if it's going to be me. It's up to him. But that's what I'm striving for, right? Because in the Bible, it talks about the 10 virgins, right? And 5 of them, all of them had a lamp. And 5 of them carried the oils with them, and the other 5 didn't. And then when they got halfway to where Jesus was at, the other 5 that didn't have no oil, they was like, hey, can you give us some of your oil so we can keep our lamps burning? And the 5 with oil was like, if we give you our oil, then we ain't gonna have no oil. And we can't all just be fucked up. So y'all go buy y'all some oil. Okay? And so the 5 with no oil, they went to go buy some. And the 5 with the oil, they kept on going to Jesus, right? So I want to be one of the ones that keep on, that got my oil, right? And so my oil is the Bible, okay? My oil is Jesus. And no, I'm not finna be no Bible thumper. I'm not gonna preach and tell you, oh, you should do this or that according to the Bible. It's more like the Bible is a history book. And it's stories about people who corrected or had their judgment corrected by God and saw life different and made changes that affected the world that we are living in today, right? Because these places in the Bible, they real, right? But it also does go a lot with science, because I've taken geology a couple times. Don't worry about that. But what I've learned in geology is that at first there was nothing. Then there was water, and then at some point The water in the sea was boiling. Okay? I ain't trying to get in there, right? Nothing could live, right? And then came land and the animals and then people. But there's also another species of people, if you didn't know that. We ain't gonna get into that today. But what we are gonna get into is the fact that science is corroborating what is written in the Bible, basically. So, when it comes to how we go about our lives and how I go about my life, it's just that if you see something twice, it means that you need to pay attention to it. Okay? And form your own judgment according to what you know. And according to what that judgment gets you, that's where you gain wisdom. Okay? If you use correct judgment and you're good to go, that's wisdom. You're now wise. But if you see something a couple times and you just keep ignoring it, being complacent with not paying attention to your surroundings or noticing signs and red flags, you're gonna eventually fall in a hole or fall off the cliff. Okay? And I done fell off the cliff a couple times and got up, fell off it again, got up, fell off it again, got up, fell off it again. And that's okay. And if you fall and get up again and fall and get up again, the important part is that you are allowed to get up again, because how many people you know fall off a cliff and live? How many? Okay? Because I remember I was in high school and there was this girl, her name was Mariah, and I used to see her like in the hallways and stuff, but I never really knew her personally. And then I noticed that she moved away. Or not really know this, but she moved away, right? So about a year after she moved away and graduated, had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend shot her in the chest and she died. And people were saying like, oh yeah, he would beat on her and he broke her arm and I think her leg or some shit when they was in high school. And it's just like, it couldn't, like, at that point, somebody in that girl's life didn't open her eyes to the signs. Because when you're that young, like she was 18, 19, she was young, right? She's only going off of what she's seen for those 18 years of her life. If something costs $20 and you only got $18, you think you finna buy that? No. You got some more work to do, right? So she had more work to do, but that guy took it from her, right? And so that's what I mean when I say that if you are given the grace to get up from that cliff, you have to take it. I have to take God picking me up from this cliff. Okay? And decide, you know what? I'm not finna go this way no more. I'm not doing this shit no more. And that's the honest truth, right? And so that is what I have to live by and stand by and start opening my eyes and seeing the signs and you saying, you know what? I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna dip on out of here, okay? Because what I'm not finna do is keep playing with God and expecting him to pick me up off a cliff. Okay? Because next time I might not be so lucky. So I have to have better discernment, better judgment. And with that comes wisdom. And also with mistakes. When you make a judgment call that was the wrong one, which we all do. Don't play like you don't, because I know you do. We make that wrong judgment call, and we fall off that cliff, and we get back up. You have to learn. At this point is where we break off and fall. So you can keep jumping off that same cliff. You can go jump off another cliff, or another cliff, or another cliff. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, you're not going to get back up. And I realized that at one point in my life at, I want to say 22 years old, 23 years old. I don't know, the pandemic got my head fucked up. But anyways, I think I was 22, right? So I realized that at 22, that the situation could have been way worse than what it was. Way worse. And I was so sick. I was so upset. I was so angry, right? And it was a tuggle with God, because I'm like, okay, I get that you saved me, right? You actually did, and I'm grateful for that. But time to pray. But I also had a lot of anger inside, and at one point, I almost jumped off a totally different cliff that would have fucked my life up. I wouldn't have been able to come back from it, right? I had to say that if I gave it to God, I got to give it to God, and I got to let this shit go, okay? I got to keep moving, all right? Because y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this, and y'all better not tell nobody, okay? But I was mad at this dude, right? And I had a very good reason to be, right? So when I saw him, I wanted to react. But I also understood that in that situation, if I would have reacted, it would have turned out very bad for me. Very bad. For everybody. Because the amount of anger I had was, I needed to let it go. And so I just had to let it go in that moment and keep walking. Because, like I said, it would have been really bad. And I just also say that God guides us to do the right things if we let him, right? Because if I would have let the anger win and been in my head just mad, it would have been bad. But I realized that I had already given that issue to God. And he saved me from one cliff. If I jump off another one, he might just be like, you know what? You got it, big dog. And I ain't trying to do all that. I need him to have it for me. I need him to help me. Because I ain't got it. So, with that being said, what am I doing with my life? That's what I named this podcast episode. What am I doing with my life? I'm doing whatever God tells me to do. And that's my answer from now on. Because whatever I want to be in life is nothing compared to what God has for me if I'm obedient. And for all of us, if we're obedient, we can have everything that we didn't even see possible for us. But, like I said, I'm trying my best to be obedient. And with that being said, it's also best for me to explore the interests that God gave me, right? Because it's always been in my head, like, okay, I had to meet my ex in order to hear about who Jenny Rivera was. In order to pay attention to the Netflix ad that kept coming up on my TV about Mariposa de Barrio, right? Because I kept seeing it and I'm like, I don't know who this chick is. I don't know about all that one. I'm gonna stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to, you know what I'm saying? But then I heard the name and I was like, oh, that's that show. They have a show about her. And so I was like, you know what? I ain't got shit else to do. Let me watch it. And then I liked it. Well, not that I liked it, because that is the saddest show ever. Other than La Señora de Acero, it is a very sad show. But it's a show about her life, right? And I thought there was no coincidence that I had to find out about her that way. And then at the end of the show, at the end of her life, I realized that the whole show was her and Chiquis. Like, her and her daughter. And so I had to figure out who Chiquis was. Because whatever Jenny went through, Chiquis went through. In most cases. I guess. Because she was so young when she had her. And so it led me to know about Chiquis. And then I realized that they had a reality show, the I Love Jenny. And then they had the Riveras. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like, this is the content I need to see. This is the content I am subscribing for, okay? And they're cool people. Like, they're cool people. And it's just the fact that out of the whole sad show about this lady's life came 5 cool kids. 5 cool people that didn't have to, or don't have to struggle the way she did. They might have different struggles in life, but they don't have to struggle that way because she left something for them. She went through the ringer so that they could be where they are right now. Whatever they're doing, I don't know what they're doing, but that's what she did it for, right? And she was obedient because God knew the plans he had for her kids, right? And that's even going for my own mom. Like, she was bedridden for most of her pregnancy with me. And that means that it was a high-risk pregnancy. So one wrong move and I would have been out of here, right? And a couple of days ago, I would have been all right with that. You know what I'm saying? But God needed her to be in the bed and to have me, right? And my mom's a twin, so people thought that I was gonna be a twin, but it's just me. And I always thought about that, like it would have made sense for her to have twins, but it's just me. I couldn't have a twin brother or a twin sister. I don't have any brothers or sisters. It's just me, as far as I know. So it's just, I had to go through a lot. And I've shared some of that with y'all on here. Just some of it, you know what I'm saying? Not all. But some. Just to say that if there's a will, there's a way. There's purpose through the pain. I had to keep telling myself the other day that if I'm in pain, it's because God needs me to do something with it. Besides stay in it. You know what I'm saying? And as much as it hurts, as much as my heart was broken, time and time and time again, I can't keep letting people break my heart. Like, who are y'all? And God won't break my heart unless I break his. And I ain't trying to do all that because, like I said, I ain't trying to jump off no more cliffs. No more cliffs. But I am trying to jump off the porch. If you know what I'm saying. One time in college, it was this guy I knew. And one day, like, he was known around campus, right? And so one day I get on Twitter and I see this boy hanging off of an apartment building balcony. Like, hanging off the balcony. I'm like, whose child is this? Whose child is this? But that boy, he did whatever the hell he wanted to do. He didn't give a damn. He really didn't. We used to work together. And one time he came to work and he had a water bottle with some purple stuff in it. And I'm like, what's that, friend? And he's like, it's some drink. You want to taste it? I was like, yeah, give me a little taste, a little sweet. And when I tasted that shit put hair on my chest, it's like, God dang. And I get back to my room, I'm fumbling around and shit. And I only took a little bitty sip, y'all. This man had drunk the whole bottle and went to work. And got sent home from a 2-hour shift. I miss college. I really miss college. I ain't trying to go back to do the same shit I used to do. That's a no-no. I'm grown now. I can't do that. But I miss it. I miss being young and dumb and you know the rest. But now, as a 25-year-old woman, I feel as though I am right where I need to be for whatever is coming my way, good or bad. But I have faith that it's good because I felt the bad, okay? I've jumped off enough cliffs, okay? I got a lot of scars, let me tell you. And I'm not interested in anymore, even though they're gonna come, whether I like it or not. Because one thing about me is when I was in school, like elementary, middle, high school, I would trip and fall flat on my face every year. For like a couple of years. I noticed that. And like one time, I tripped, fell. I had a big old purse and a whole bunch of shit in this purse. And one of the things in my purse was my glasses case and my glasses. And so the glasses case like bent, so it would never close the right way again because I fell. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I realized that I was tired of trying to figure out what to do with my life, what to create in my life, how to create my own future. I can't create my own future. It doesn't work like that. I have to be obedient to what is handed to me in my present in order to secure a future in the first place. Because every breath isn't promised to us. Every second isn't promised to us. Every minute, none of this shit is promised to us. At any given moment, your body could just lock up and fall dead. And that'll just be that. Like, you can just be wanting whatever you want. But if you're not being obedient with what you're having to deal with in your present, then whatever you want for your future isn't gonna matter, right? You can want to have 50 cars, but if you got 10 and you only driving one, what's gonna happen to all 10 of them when you die? They gonna sell them, and them people will have cars, or they can sell them and multiply that into 50 cars. But why you didn't do that yourself? Why are you driving? Why do you have 10 cars? You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I see it. Like, I can't imagine what I do with a lot of money if I'm not doing anything with the money I have. But that's neither here nor there either. What is important, though, is that I am here to stay. This podcast is here to stay, whether you like it or not, because, like I said, I don't do this for you. I do it for me, okay? And for my future children, so that they can go back and listen to whatever Big Leg said and be like, damn, she was really a fool. Because I wish that I had, like, recordings or videos of my grandma, because that lady was funny. I never met anybody else that spelled out their cuss words. Like, she'd be like, I'm sick of this SHIT. But that was her. She went to church, Bible study. She cooked dinner every Sunday. For holidays. She made sure everybody had something to eat and everybody felt good. And if you needed somewhere to stay, you could stay with her. And I wish I could hear just her thoughts of how she came to be that kind of person. But I guess it's not really important because her thoughts are not my thoughts. I have to form my own thoughts and be the person that God needs me to be. And if it's to be like my grandma, then cool. I'd be honored. If it's to be like Elmo, cool. Like, it's better than sitting around crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be like, would you rather cry in a Rolls Royce or on the bus? And I'm like, bitch, I wouldn't rather cry at all. Bitch, put me in a toy yacht with no tears and I am good. And an aux cord, I am good, okay? Like, what the fuck? Do I look like crying in a Rolls Royce or the bus? I don't want to cry at all. Why are you choosing a struggle? That's just my thought on that. I don't want to choose to struggle anymore. I don't want to choose to be unhappy. And no one can tell me what makes me happy or not. No one can tell me what makes me feel good or not. Because only me can tell me that. Because it's me. Like, I can't tell you, oh, well, get you a job, you'll be happy then. Like, how do I know that? Do I have a crystal ball? Like, no. I can't tell you, go change your tires. Maybe then your car will do good. Because might be something more wrong with your car than just the tires. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't give you answers. Definite answers. I can just tell you to, or I can just share my experience. Hopefully that'll give you an insight on how to come up with a better conclusion yourself. Because when I listen to other people, I ended up diving off a cliff. Like somebody say, I'm at the bottom of the cliff. I'm gonna catch you, bro. And you go jump off that cliff. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen? I needed somebody to tell me that. Damn. I needed to hear that my damn self. It's okay though. We gonna get it together. Or God gonna get us together, rather. Because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I just have to keep doing whatever I feel led to do. Whether that's to clean. Or to tell my friends that I'm thinking of them. Whatever it is. Just gotta do it. And yep, that's about that on that. So I guess I'm gonna head out a little early on y'all today. But I'm glad I came to that resolution because, bitch, be plenty of people saying, oh, I'm at the bottom of the cliff, I'm gonna catch you. And I just be jumping my ass on over there. Candy ball, head ass. What the fuck did I think was gonna happen? I didn't have to jump off the cliff. Stop jumping off the cliff. And I ain't gonna tell you again. And if I gotta tell you again, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And I'm talking to myself and you, whoever listening. So don't think I'm playing with you. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Because, like I just said, we don't have to keep jumping off cliffs. We're not gonna keep doing that. But whenever I figure out how we gonna, what direction we gonna take to get off the mountain instead of jumping off the cliffs and shit, I'm gonna let y'all know. Because I only got as far as to not just jump off the cliff. I figure out how to get back down the mountain. And she'll be going around the mountain when she comes. Yeehaw. Okay. I know y'all tired of me. But if you're not, follow me on all the socials at I Wanna Lex You Up with 2 X's, like the name of the show. And show me some love. I mean, don't be scared. Just pop in my DMs. Be like, hey, I like your podcast. Or, hey, I think your podcast sucks ass. But I still listen to it. You know? You could definitely tell me that. And I'm going to heart it. And I'm going to print it out and frame it. So if you want to be on my wall, tell me how you feel about me. And if not, I'll push you off the cliff, okay? Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. And if you're having a bad day, don't go fucking up nobody else's because they just gonna go fucking up somebody else's and then they gonna go fucking up somebody else's. And it's just a train of fucked up days. Stop the train, okay? Stop the choo-choo. Stop that, okay? Get off of that motherfucker. Get on the boat and skirt off to your island and your head that you like to be at and be straight. Okay? So, with that being said, bye!